Hey guys, how you doing? Um, so the number one reason why most kids quit jiu-jitsu at our academy is divorce, parents break up, and the parents can't agree on who's going to pay for the fees and who's going to pick them up and drop them off and things like that. The second reason is kids literally just say, I don't want to train anymore, or they have a bad experience, or they can't handle losing and stuff like that. And so they literally say to their parents, hey, I don't want to go anymore. And I have conversations with the parents quite often about this. And my advice is like, because obviously the kid says once, I don't want to train, the parents contact us, hey, we want to cancel our membership. And so I'm like, look, just because the kid tells you once that they don't want to go, they probably had a bad class. It was maybe really hot that day. They were tired from school. There's a lot of reasons. And so, like, give kids a break, right? And also, like, parents are the same. Well, not parents, but like adults, right? So we know, and I know, as someone who's done jiu-jitsu for like nearly 30 years now, right? I have ups and downs all the time. As adults, we very rarely have. Sometimes you'll have an amazing week, and then the next training session you feel terrible, and then you don't perform well, or you don't feel that you performed well. But that's the ups and downs of life. Like, that's normal. Like, nothing is the same. Very few things are consistent in life. And so the message for the child is like, well, that's normal. It's okay if you have a bad lesson or even a bad week. Maybe that week here in Queensland, we can have a whole week where it's like really hot, really humid, and that really affects kids, especially young kids, like between 4 and 8 or up to like 9 or 10 even. Like, I guess because they have smaller bodies, that they just don't deal with temperature changes very well. They can't cool themselves down as readily as bigger kids and stuff like that. They're really affected emotionally by the heat. It's very draining for them. So if ever we have hot days or hot training sessions, I always make sure that they're pretty mellow for the kids. I tell my coaches, be aware that heat really affects kids a lot, and so don't make the sessions particularly hard. Same with the adults. If we're having a particularly hot week, yeah, like on Monday, I'm not going to kill everybody on Monday because no one's turning up for the rest of the week if they're wrecked. So you have to like look at these sorts of things, but there's some valuable lessons to be learned. And you don't just like cancel your membership because you have one bad lesson, or maybe the kid played up in class and got put in the naughty chair for 15 minutes or something like that. And, the kid's mad, like, I don't want to go back. Well, it falls on the parents to now educate your child about what it feels like, that this is the real world and you have to be prepared for these things, and you don't just quit over them. Like, it's just a part of doing anything. We're trying to prepare them for life. We're trying to make it fun and have, like, instill all these things in them, especially the young kids that haven't even been to school yet. Like, we have to be kind of a little bit tolerant with the 4-year-olds and even the 5-year-olds, but ultimately, it's very important that they learn to fit in with everybody else and follow the rules and things like this. And this is how they gain self-control. A lot of parents bring their kids to us because they want the kids to learn self-discipline and things like this. It's difficult if the parents themselves don't have self-discipline, if the parents turn up and they're really fat, they're really out of shape and stuff like this. And yet they're trying to get us to fix their kids and to tell the kids not to do this and not to do that. But this is why I'm such a huge fan of the whole family doing jiu-jitsu. It doesn't mean that the dad has to train 5 times a week or anything like that. But it makes a huge difference when one or both of the parents train, because now the parents can tell the kids, I go through the same thing. So if the kid has a particularly, bad class or whatever, and I can imagine the car ride home, the kid's upset because they couldn't escape something or some kid beat them and whatever. The parent who doesn't train doesn't really understand what the kid's gone through. And so it's very difficult. They'll just be like, well, toughen up or get on with it, or whatever their advice is, I don't know. But I do know that the parents who train can have a different conversation with their children. especially the parents who start at the same time as the kids, because they're all white belts. Everybody's learning together. There's a number of dads and a couple of mums recently who started like a week or two after their kids did, and they're all on the same journey. So they can sympathize with the kids. And now the kids go, oh, this isn't just a difficult thing that you're asking me to do or telling me to do. This is a difficult thing that mum and dad and all of us are choosing to do. And so when most of the family trains, they can go home. They don't even need mats. They can get on the carpet at home and work out those problems and go, hey, well, this is what I was taught. Because maybe the kid's like, oh, I couldn't escape this position and I was all upset. So now the parents can go home and get on the mat with the kids and go, hey, let's pull up some of Rob's videos from YouTube. Let's have a look at what he was teaching this week and how to escape this position, and let's learn this together. And it completely changes the whole dynamic. So, it's not, my desire to have families train is not, of course, there's some financial interest to it, right? That we get more members and the gym can survive and continue and thrive and things like that. But for me, coming from a broken home and all the stuff that I went through as a child, absent parents and all these sorts of things, then for me it's a deeper subject. It's one of wanting to bring families together, one of wanting to make families stronger, more resilient. Kids are going to feel safer and more confident and be willing to try new things. They'll overcome adversity better when there's a stronger family network. And in this area where we have a massive amount of DV stuff, huge amounts of divorce and violence and all those sorts of things in this area, then it's every single day on just about every single community group that I'm a part of, there's assault after assault after assault after break-in and car thefts and all these sorts of things. So I screenshot those posts and I put them on my Instagram and I put them on my social media so that people are aware as to just how dangerous the people around them are, just how unpredictable life is in this area. And they need to get trained and they need to be ready. I hate seeing these posts and stuff like this on the news about young girls being grabbed and assaulted, and it makes my guts churn, and I know that young men and women, especially in their late teens or mid-teens, are going to start going out more without their parents and socializing, drinking, going to parties and things like this. And I really want these kids to be prepared. I want the parents to prepare their kids for this time. So if ever something happens, the girl or guy can take care of themselves. They're going to have the confidence to be able to say no. Like maybe they'll realize they're not so prone to peer pressure because they've got better self-confidence. They don't feel that they have to be led by the crowd. And so if everybody's leaving the house party, like maybe the girl has told her parents, hey, I'm going to a house party at Angela's place or whatever, and that's 15, 20 minutes away, we're all going there for a party, her parents are going out for the night, but blah, 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 whatever. And that's fine, the parents know about it. But if there's a group that's leaving that party, for example, and they're like, hey, you should come with us, like we're going to this other party now, and like that's a big decision for a young girl or a young guy, because we want to be included, we want to be involved. We're like, community is a really big thing for teenagers and stuff like that. From like 10 years old, 11 years old, up until they're like 25, they're really trying to find their group and fit in, and they don't want to be left out. So if you've got a kid who's more confident, who has higher self-esteem, they don't feel the need to have to comply. Like they can go, okay, in their head they'll be like, okay, what would mum or dad want me to do? I know the right thing is to not go, but I'm feeling pressured. And that's a big turning point. Yeah, because that is the opportunity for them to go, no, it's okay, I'm not going to go, I've stayed here, I've told my parents I'm going to stay, I'm going to do the right thing. They don't have to word it exactly like that, right? But they were like, no, I'm not going, you guys go have fun, it's all good, right? And to stand up for themselves. And that keeps them safe because they're where they told their parents they were going to be. Yeah, and even that could be like a little out of control, to be honest. But if they now leave there and get in a car, kids who are possibly drinking, they haven't checked, they don't know, good chance they could have a car crash and all die on the way to this other party, good chance that terrible things could happen at this party to the guys and girls, specifically the girls. So like, this is why I think it's so important for the whole family to train, because the closer the unit is and the more respect that there is between the family members, the more likely your teens are going to say, no, I'm not going to go to that party. I'm going to stay here. It's all good. You guys go have fun. I'll stay here. In fact, I'm going to get an Uber and go home. Right? So that's really what I'm trying to create. It's something different. It's maybe not something that different in this community, but I'm trying to make a difference in this community. This is very similar to the little town that I grew up in, New Zealand. Very high crime rate, lots of gangs, lots of drugs, lots of criminal behavior and things like that. And I'm sure most of the parents are trying to get their kids out of that and stay away from it, you know. And so I think that bringing them into a place like ours where we make training fun, but we're also aware of like what the consequences of doing jiu-jitsu are and the consequences of not doing it. So I just want everybody to be safe, to be able to live their life, you know, as violence-free as possible. And hopefully we can make a difference in this community. It saddens me every day seeing what I see in the news, and I really don't want anybody that I know to be a victim of anything in this area. Too many people come to us who are already victims of violence or domestic violence, and and bullying and things like that is really big. So yeah, that's my message anyway. So let's try and get all the families on the mat, as many family members as we can, and hopefully we can make a difference in this community, because it definitely needs it. Cheers, guys. Bye.